Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, we're doing a movie episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's pigging out on food that isn't theirs with me tonight?
I'm Tiffany Albertin, and that's all I got.
I am Phoebe Stanton, but my true name is the Let's Play Princess.
And I'm Trey. Wish I had 6 arms, Johnson. Is that how many he has?
I think he has 8 because he's like an octopus.
Oh, sure. Or do his feet and his legs count as arms, too?
I'm Jess, and I think his legs do count as arms.
Welcome. And we are here to cover a movie that was a tie in our last Patreon poll. It took me a little bit to get to it. But Spirited Away, directed by Hayao Miyazaki, and came out in 2001 in Japan.
It did. It also won the Oscar that year for Best Animated Movie. And it beat Lilo and Stitch.
Good.
And some horse movie and some other stuff. I just checked to see.
That year?
Yeah, it was Spirit. It was Spirit and Treasure Planet and Lilo and Stitch and Ice Age also.
Oh,
Wow. That's impressive then.
That is 3 Disney contenders.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wasn't it the first foreign language film to be nominated for
I think
an
so.
animated
Yeah.
Oscar?
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
I think it was a
That
big.
is amazing.
It made a big deal for people getting into anime, right? For that one, or for exposure, I guess.
oh yeah, this
One of the
movie.
big things.
Japanese
This was
animation and all that.
This was also Disney's first production with Ghibli, wasn't it?
Well,
Not sure.
they just brought it
Or they produced it.
Yeah,
or
they just brought it
distributed
to America. They
Yeah, but that's what-
distributed
like-
it.
This is their first time localizing instead of anybody else, right?
Yeah.
And then we got a bunch of other localizations of Ghibli films because of that, which was also cool.
It wasn't Troma this time. I think they were. I think they didn't have the rights anymore. I made sure to look that up. And interesting, it was like the highest selling movie in Japan for a while until they released season 2 of Demon Slayer. And then that's the new one now, which was
Mugen Train.
Yeah. They'd released like the second season in movie form, and that did it. But yeah, it held the record for a while for highest grossing movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah,
So I like to start with our memories of what our previous. So I've seen this movie way more than I realized because I was able to say what was coming up, and I remembered it pretty close.
Usually I'm that person.
Yeah, so I've seen this movie a lot, apparently. I don't remember exactly. I just know someone I was dating was, I think, into this movie, so we watched it a whole bunch back then in the early 2000s. I remember buying this at a Walmart, too.
Yeah. There was a big display, and I bought the VHS. I was like, ooh, what's this?
Maybe I bought it at a Blockbuster first time. I used to buy a lot of shit at Blockbuster and on deals they would have. I bought a lot of DVDs there for cheap.
Nothing has changed.
Oh, they don't
It's
really-
just GameStop now.
I don't go to GameStop
yeah,
anymore.
except for Best Buy. Yeah, it doesn't sell DVDs anymore.
No one really does.
or
I was
have
at Target. I was looking for a DVD just out of chance, and just because I was like, oh, and I'm like, oh wait, they don't have the DVD section anymore, do they?
Your Target doesn't?
It didn't.
Yeah,
No.
ours has books and stuff. Like, I don't know why they would sell books and not DVDs.
They still
Maybe I
have.
didn't look
I
right
mean,
enough.
maybe not
Weird
DVDs,
choice, Target.
but they have Blu-rays. I mean, you can still buy physical media.
I was looking for Resurrection F. Is what I was looking for. Dragon Ball Z. It's okay.
Well, they probably don't have a great selection.
Yeah, I mean, they have like whatever the new releases are.
I'm sure they've got Fall Guy.
Yeah,
Straight to
Tiffany,
video
what-
almost.
yeah. After like 2 weeks in the theaters.
Horror
That's
movies.
dated.
I like that movie.
I wanted to see it.
I'm sure it's
Thought about
fun.
me.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a fun watch, but is it like a go to the theater and watch it?
Well, that was only a choice I had when I went with my mom. There's like a bunch of horror movies and other stuff that she
Or
would
you
not
made
like.
your choice in your situation.
Tiffany, what's your history with this movie?
I think I already said
Oh,
it.
yeah. Walmart.
Do you want me to say it again?
Sure.
Yeah. It makes sense. I didn't realize it wasn't the Academy Award, so it makes sense that Walmart had a huge display because they like to capitalize on shit like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, this I think is my first anime movie, and I was just getting into anime at the time.
And Phoebe.
Much like Tiff, this was my first anime movie. I got this for Birthmas, and I would even bring this around to different people's houses and introduce them to it.
Trey.
So I was thinking when you were talking about like having a copy of it and how popular it was and all that, I was just thinking my sister, my sister Tanya, who like would never watch a Japanese thing ever. They had a copy of Spirited Away, so like that shows like how much exposure it had. They had a VHS copy of it or something. And but I didn't see it till later. I don't think I ever watched it until we watched it, until Jess and I watched it. But yeah, because I don't know. I think I said it last time. I was weirdly anti-Ghibli for some reason. I thought it was too popular, so I was like, F Ghibli. Because I think the only one I had seen was Princess Mononoke, which I did like. But yeah, it took me a while to get around to this one. And we watched it again, and I'd forgotten a lot of it, even though we've seen it a few times.
Just imagining Trey laying against a wall going, "You a Ghibli fan? Ugh, poser."
All right.
Yeah,
Still got married though. Still got married.
I mean, that was when I was like 22 or something. I don't know. Everybody sucks at 22.
Everybody's an asshole at 22.
Yeah.
Much like me, because I was around 22. No, I was a little younger than that. I think I was 19 when this came out. It won the Academy Award, and I was dating a nerdy film person at the time. Surprise, surprise. And they rented it or I don't know how we got a hold of it, but we watched it. And when we started watching it, I was being a total dick about it. I was like, oh, I don't want to watch this cartoon because cartoons are stupid, because I was 19 and stupid. And watch it and fell in love with this movie. And it started a lifelong love of Ghibli films for me.
All right. I'm sure there's a lot of people's movie that got him into Studio Ghibli. I mean, I was surprised this movie is still really, really good. Like, we watched it a couple nights ago. I'm like, this is still just fantastic. Mm-hmm. It holds up amazing. For something
it looks amazing. Yeah, there's no part of it. It's not like watching an old Disney movie where you're like, ooh, animation's looking a little janky.
Yeah, it still looks real good. Even like the CGI stuff that's obviously CGI, like the flower, what is it, the flower hallway and stuff like that. I still think it looks cool.
The flower hallway is not CGI.
It isn't?
No, none of it is CGI.
No, I thought
it is all hand drawn. I think it's the way the camera moves that makes you think that it's...
Some angles made me think that it was...
Yeah.
Is it not?
No.
None of it is? I thought there was some...
I don't think so.
Some occasional parts. Because the flower stuff totally looks like it's CGI.
Yeah, when she's climbing outside the building, that looked so much like CGI, but...
I don't think it is.
Sure.
Google to the rescue. Talk amongst yourselves.
When I was like when I was an asshole 22-year-old, I would always talk about how great Trauma was and all that. And if somebody would have told me that Trauma was distributing Ghibli movies, my brain probably would have exploded. Because I didn't actually know that at the time. That would have changed my life right there.
Well, things weren't as like
oh.
You wouldn't find that out as easily. I feel like back then without the internet.
Yeah, no, I mean you can't just like. Yeah, we didn't have smartphones and all that,
Google says primarily hand-drawn, although it did deploy CGI sparingly. So you're probably right in the 2 points that you picked out.
Yeah, I thought there was still some in there. But a lot of it doesn't age very well, but it still looks pretty good. I mean, it looks great.
It didn't age as bad as other movies that came out around this time. Blade 2, Matrix Reloaded.
Blade 2. Blade 2.
I love Blade 2.
Oh,
there's a CGI scene that is awful.
Okay, this is what you mean. That's fine.
Oh,
yeah, no, the movie Blade 2 is awesome, but there's a CGI scene where if you watch it now, it's like you guys didn't need to put this in this movie. Like, this is awful.
But Jurassic Park still holds up 100%.
Yes.
We just watched all the Jurassic Parks.
The first one still holds up.
Yeah,
the
first one. Let me correct myself.
I like all of them.
Having just watched all of them, we can say.
I like the third one.
Also. 1 and 3.
So I'm assuming this movie, of course, this movie has a lot of different meanings to it. I had a couple questions, I should say the plot of this movie is that Chihiro is moving with her parents to a new school, to a new place, and then her parents decide to go to stop at a bridge and walk to what they think is a carnival and end up in the spirit world, and then they get turned into pigs, and she ends up in the spirit world having to try to rescue them. Is I guess the plot of this movie.
Good sum up.
Sounds about right.
It's no Kenneth Sanity if he was here to do his plot, but I try to put it in there.
Aww.
And there's a whole lot of bathtubs in there. That's probably.
Falling
I'm going to a bathhouse.
Falling into and falling in love with a river.
Oh yeah.
Who hasn't been there?
There were a couple things that I was wondering. Is one, how much time passes in between as she's in the spirit world? Did they ever say?
No, they never say, but they're concerned that their car is dusty, but it's not so dusty that, the color outside the car has changed. I'm going to say a few days to weeks, but definitely not anywhere up to a year.
Okay.
I mean, I was gonna say, did their car get towed or stolen? I guess. I guess it's in Japan, so you could probably leave it
I
wherever.
think they show us 3 nights in the spirit world. Obviously we don't know if time is passing at the same rate in the regular world, but
Yeah, nobody called a disappearance, so the car's still there, and I'm assuming they still have the house that they just bought.
right.
So, Trey, I was wondering, if this is Chicago and they left the car for 3 days, would it still be there?
Yes.
It'd be gone in an hour.
No, it wouldn't. Don't talk shit about Chicago.
Well, depending on where you're parking, like if you're at a meter and you don't pay the meter, your car will be towed in an hour.
Are you
But we
in or
parked our
from
car on the
Chicago?
street legally for years.
Oh yeah, no, I mean like if you park to go look at something, that's what I was thinking of when they put it there. I was like, oh no, your car's going to be gone, like because I don't think that's a legal parking spot.
No, it's definitely not illegal.
Absolutely not.
That's what I mean. Like if you get ticketed or whatever, you'll get towed. Like there was a job I did once where I was supposed to just go pick up something downtown, and I left my car. I was waiting forever, and I forgot to redo the meter or whatever. And when I came down, my car was gone. It was towed. So I mean, you can be towed really quickly if you're not parked in the right spot. Is what I meant.
Oh, I was
Cool. How
thinking
good
more
is
of
the
like,
public transit.
what's that?
Is there not in Chicago?
Oh, there
Oh
is.
no, there is. I just I didn't take it. I was trying to pick up from this place. I was supposed to just be in and out, and so I parked in like a 30-minute flashing zone, and it was like an hour and a half, and I got towed. So
God.
Well, that's your own fault.
I couldn't get out of there. I didn't know how long I was there for. I was supposed to be. Yeah, they actually got them to pay for part of it, but.
But I was just curious. I know because I was wondering about that a lot because I didn't really think about but it only is 3 nights that she's there. It feels like she's there a lot longer.
A lot happens.
Yeah, plus plus the relationship she has with people and the way they are. It feels like she's there for like months. I mean,
they're just friendly people.
I mean, they are spirits and not humans, so hey, that probably helps.
We get the whole day. It's not like we get the morning of one day and the night of the next day. You know what I mean? I think it feels longer because we're with her.
Yeah,
every minute.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I don't know. It just for me, it felt, especially previous times I watched it, it felt a lot longer than what it is. I didn't really think about it until you said it now. We're like, yeah, it only is like 3 days, and that makes perfect sense. I don't know, it just didn't click. I was also wondering, like, how many humans wander into this freaking carnival and start eating that food?
There's a lot of pigs.
Truth.
Yeah, are all those pigs humans that they have there? Or are
So
there
if this was an American movie, there would have been a 15-minute long exposition before the film actually started where they go, oh man, this area of the town is haunted. Don't go over there.
Yep.
They'll turn you into pigs.
If it was a Netflix show, it'd have a whole season before they became pigs.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
That'd be the last episode.
The last
thing you
10
see.
minutes of the last episode.
That's why Ghibli's so good. It's just, and go.
And that's what you needed. Like, it would, if you would have had a lot of exposition before, like, I mean, because you quickly put her into an issue. You have her parents become pigs. She tries to run across, but the land they walked in is now a giant river. Like, it does a very good job of putting her having to make the decision that she makes, and everything makes sense that she does.
When you know that they aren't scripted before, I think that kind of helps explain a little bit, because it does feel like the story and the animation goes on a journey of finding out what's happening in this story as it's happening.
Yeah.
They have like a rough draft usually, but no like solid firm script of exactly what's going to happen when they start making a movie.
I didn't know that.
I don't know if it's changed, but it has been said of this one at least.
Okay, and you can see, because this story flows so well from one thing to the next, and nothing to me when I was watching it, nothing felt like padding. Nothing felt.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't bored. I don't think I was even playing Marvel Snap while watching this.
So proud of you.
Do you watch it in? Do you guys do dubbed or subbed, or how did you do it? We did it subbed. Well, that's how I prefer it, but I know there's
both, wasn't the no? It wasn't.
We were dubbed.
I thought you always have the subtitles.
I always have subtitles on, but he means like, is it Japanese audio or not?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Still.
So you have because they're kind of different, right?
They're always different. There's always like small differences.
That's why it's fun watching the English version with subtitles, because they translate the Japanese version, and so I'm like,
so they don't say the same things.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's the same? I didn't think about that. I thought it would just be subtitles for whatever the dub is.
No,
it definitely is not.
No, it's subtitles or whatever the translation is. So sometimes you will get different words that weren't there. I didn't
completely different sentences.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it in here, but I have seen it because I watch everything with subs on in general, so I have seen it before and stuff.
A lot of like the anime.
I think Bebop does it when I watch that. Sailor Moon, for example. But no, I didn't really notice it. I can't think of. I've never seen this with the Japanese audio, unfortunately. I've only seen this dubbed, and this is one of those situations where I've seen this anime so many times dubbed, I couldn't watch it with Japanese audio. It just wouldn't be the same because those aren't the characters for me, unfortunately.
It's a mix. You can tell it's a mix early on when Haku has her and telling her how to cross the bridge, because there are subtitles for what he's saying in English, but the character model's mouth isn't moving at all.
Oh.
Well, they didn't plan that properly.
They can't. I mean, Japanese is such a different language.
But they tried to match it up. That's why the script changes a little bit. Because they have to match it up with the mouth moving.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then.
But I want to talk about Cardcaptors.
I love that show.
Yeah. Oh, it's very different. Like the plot line changed and everything when they brought it to America.
Oh yeah.
I was upset.
But it's still like my number one cosplay to do all the time. So.
That would be fun. I should do.
You should.
But with this movie, I appreciated how much it goes through her journey and how much of stuff that just she has to do. Like with the stuff with like her parents becoming pigs. I was also thinking, like, what the hell? Like, who would just show up and like, oh, look, food? I mean, Americans, yes. But
I was like,
it was weird to me. Like, they just show up and start eating. I'm like, I wouldn't.
I don't know.
comfortable.
Anime food
It really
is
tasty.
a specific genre of whatever animation that I'm particularly interested in.
Oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
we watched all of Food Wars,
and
because of the food.
and
It
the dungeon show also.
So
Oh, Delicious in Dungeon.
Delicious
Yeah.
in Dungeon, yeah.
Dungeon Master, yeah.
But like I would cut off body parts of my own and, let them turn into little piglets in order to eat whatever they eat at
Fairly
that point.
certain at one point, one of the bowls of food contained like fried bunnies, and I just looked at it and went, I don't want to say I would eat that.
I would eat it.
Does any-
I want to know.
Yeah.
Rabbit's good.
on the eating scene, I want to ask: does anybody know what the weird bags are that they eat? Those like white
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Cause
what is it? It's like a big juicy I don't know. It looks like a really wet giant wonton or something. I don't know.
It might be some kind of a dumpling.
Yeah. Probably just
It is. But they eat delicious looking egg rolls and they eat those tiny little
pork belly.
hens with the crispy skin.
Yeah,
Oh.
like full chickens, but they're the size of your palm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Little, I don't know. I want to know.
I also thought it was on this part. I thought it, like most movies, the kids will be like running off trying to see whatever, and this one's like the opposite. The parents are like, "Oh, let's go, let's go leave the car and look at this abandoned thing." And she's like, "No, I don't want to do any of this." And then they're like, more
I
adventurous.
like it that she's sensible in all this. Like, she's the one telling him, like, let's not go. I mean, you also have the whole idea, which I know Ghibli likes to do stuff like this. Again, like we talked about with Totoro, we have a young girl who's moving to somewhere new.
Right.
I feel like it's a theme, isn't it, throughout his movies?
And apparently she was based on like
Like his neighbor's kid or something.
a niece of
Yeah.
one of the producers or something like that.
Oh,
Somebody-
really?
that's cute.
And he was retired. Like we all know Miyazaki's retired like 17 times, but this was one of them. He was done making movies, and apparently he met this kid, and he was like, "Oh, that kid is so cool. Let's make a movie where she goes to the spirit world."
And then
But I
like-
the cigarette.
I like the idea of the spirit world being something that exists right alongside us, just in places that we aren't using.
Absolutely.
That's just such a cool concept. The Upside Down is in Stranger Things essentially just the same world. It's just a different dimension. Like this is like this. This is the human world. It's just a different part of the human world that's been abandoned for one reason or another of our world.
The fabric is thin. You can sort of like slip
Yeah,
in.
but she's also disappearing. Like I didn't know she was going to disappear from the spirit world. She was going to disappear from existence.
Oh, I think existence.
Okay, because she's not where she's
That's
supposed
what I
to be.
think. I mean, I don't have any basis for that, but
It was the associate producer's daughter is who it's based on, and I guess she would visit Miyazaki each summer for however long. But yeah, she was a big inspiration for it.
I think that it's interesting that we, with our like American eyes, think of her as being, sensible and cautious, and we think of that as being something good. But it's not good in the eyes of Japanese people because she's afraid. She's not courageous. And that's, I think, what she spends the movie becoming confident and courageous.
Yeah. You see it in everything, how she acts. But yeah, no, like, you are right. As Americans, we're like, yeah, she's being that's how I look at it. She's being cautious. She's not letting them try to be stupid.
What does that say about us, though? That we think she's being cautious and the Japanese...
It's
There's danger that food might be poisoned.
Yeah. You think of Japanese people or Japanese culture as being so reserved, polite and deferent, and what they value maybe is different than how we perceive it.
Yeah, that's very fair. And like you get so many different scenes of the way that she handles things, and like the whole first part of the movie when she first gets to the spirit world and she's trying to get a job, like she handles it perfectly as someone would in that situation. She's terrified, but she's trying to do what she's there for. I mean, you're surrounded by weird creatures you've never seen before and animals that talk, and like, it makes sense.
So she doesn't know what's going to happen to her if she doesn't get a job. He made it seem like you need to get a job.
Or you'll be banished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of her humanness, right? Like, or that was part of it. Yeah.
But imagine like walking down a rickety ass 40-foot tall staircase into a boiler room full of little walking dust sprites and a dude with 8 arms. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And thankfully, despite no guardrail, all she did was slam into that wall.
It was like she was.
I would be dead.
No railing, yeah. And the space in between the steps is as big as her. Like, she could easily like slip through there.
I don't think that would be OSHA certified.
Well, certainly not.
Don't worry, it's Parker certified.
Joke that only me and you get, Phoebe. But I appreciate it. No, the stuff with the boiler room is so good. I mean, one thing I was thinking about watching this movie last night or a couple nights ago is when the boiler guy tells, God, what is her name? The woman that comes in the room?
Lynn,
that, this is my granddaughter. It's like, you're a spirit. She's a human. How does that work?
Oh, yeah.
He might have at some point been a person.
Yeah.
Just
because he's.
Oh, good call. I hadn't thought about
the multiple arm guy. Oh, yeah. He's like, she's related to me.
I just call him Eggman.
Yeah, his name's Kamaji.
He does kind of look like a multiple arm Eggman. From
yeah, he does. Yes, I am the Eggman. That's what I am. I'll stop there.
I'm glad
The song will live in my head rent free the rest of my life.
A lot of songs will.
Yeah, it's SA2B, Sonic Adventure 2. I've spent more hours playing that game than anybody should. So
didn't you say?
That's a lie.
Didn't you say the multiple arm guy was like sort
Kamaji.
of based on yokai?
Oh yeah, I mean a lot of the things we see. First of all, what's great is that they're not trying to explain all this to us. You need, a degree in Japanese folklore. You're not going to understand everything that's happening, which I love because it lets you just sort of be in it, be in the flow of it. Like, okay, I don't get it. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, he is based on traditional ghost spirit.
Cool. I like they work in so much stuff like that because then it bridges culture for people. Like, I mean, for me, example, there's stuff that I will have seen in these movies that then I will now understand or be more aware that it's myths and folklore for.
You just need to watch more anime.
I do.
Like period anime.
Yeah, I do.
You need to watch. I'm sure I mentioned it last time, but you need to watch Pompoko if you haven't seen it. That's a Ghibli movie also, but involves like the Tanuki and their ball sacks turn into things, and it has a lot.
Watch Grave of the Fireflies.
No.
Well, don't watch that.
I tried to put that on the list. He would not let me.
But Pompoko has this whole like part with a whole bunch of yokai in there. Like one of them has like the giant eyeball guy that lives in the toilet, like is in there. Like there's all these like really
that one
that happens, and it has this awesome sequence where it's really good. Like I said, there's a part where one of their ball sacks turns into a sailboat that carries
them to the spirit world.
Carries them to the spirit world.
Yeah, no, you do.
It's great. It's like I said, it's one of my favorites. If you have HBO Max, it's on there.
Okay.
Sure, dubbed version of it if you don't want to see the Japanese. But we watched part of the dubbed version once.
I need to watch more Studio Ghibli movies, and this reminded me that I really need to see more because of just. Oh, and I really love the soot sprites.
My fave. I would like to get some soot sprites tattooed on me.
Ooh. So will they clean our house or make it messy? Because there's like variations between Totoro and this movie.
Well, I've seen. I'm pretty sure I know somebody in real life that has a tattoo of the Soot Sprites with the little stars on it.
Helena?
Yeah, it's a
Maybe
pretty
it's Helena.
popular tattoo.
I'm pretty sure it's.
I also love when Lynn brings the food and it's little stars and they're just so happy eating. It's just so cute.
Pretty sure that
Oh,
actually
yeah,
is a
yeah.
type of sugar candy.
I want to eat
Oh.
that too.
Yeah.
What's that? I want to eat it.
It's like a little sugar candy thing. In memory serves, like kind of like sweet tarts.
Sure.
Okay, that's cool.
Oh, they're so cute.
They are, and like one thing I didn't think about is like when I was rewatching this because like Kamji is like she needs to get a job, and he even says about the Soot Sprites like if you don't have a job, then they go back to being soot. And this whole thing, if you're not working, if you don't have a purpose to be here, then you don't stay here.
Meanwhile,
I think that's kind of a meaning on life. Like you have to have a purpose in life, or you don't exist.
It's
But
kind of
meanwhile, they want to unionize.
like
And good for them. They should.
it's kind of like Beetlejuice, right? Where it's like you live and you work, but then you die and you still have to work. Like, that kind of makes the most sense out of afterlife for me. It's like people have been there long enough. I'm sure they created a system where you automatically get put into another system after you die.
You're not gonna lay around in the grass. Get to work.
Yeah.
How do you think heaven or whatever the afterlife operates? It puts all the spirits to work.
Exactly. You got to do something.
That is something you can't just lay around.
Or you don't exist. We'll find out one way or the other
Mm.
someday.
Either way. Reincarnation. Let's do that.
Yeah, I swear sometimes some of the cats were previous humans, or some humans were previously cats. I swear, the way some people act.
I was a cat.
Yeah, I believe that completely. I've seen the way you sleep.
Cat. I just want to come back as a cat and, a well-loved house cat. Sleep in the sunshine.
Yeah. Just find the sunshine, jump into boxes.
Sounds like heaven.
Sleep all day.
And terrorize their humans.
Great.
That sounds fun.
That's what my Kira does, wherever she is right now. Because when I first got this house, I set up all my bookshelves. I had all my amiibos, my Infinity little toys, everything set up, and then slowly I had to move it once we adopted her.
I was going to say we didn't have her, right?
No, and it was all set up until she decided, I don't like these.
She's still a kitten.
She'll always be a kid.
Raise the
She's
kitten.
3, but she's still a kitten.
She's my baby girl.
Yeah.
Oh, but back to the movie. When Chihiro helps that one Soot Sprite, that part is so cute, and then all of a sudden they all just drop their rocks. Like, no,
Yeah, they all unionize. It's great.
It's so cute.
It's like don't help them because then they'll all want help.
If they strike, they'll die.
Yeah. It's also a nice callback that he, with Totoro having the Soot Sprites and now putting them in here, as a different part. Also, Lynn looks very human.
Lynn looks the most human of the
Whatever they are.
yeah.
Yeah, they must have a name for what they are. Like what those.
Cleaners.
Well,
But
like,
Lynn might have been a human,
oh yeah.
Yeah, we don't know what happens to the people who die, because this is an entire world of spirits in the same way of Totoro, where it's forest, river, spirits of objects and plants and
yeah.
stuff. My assumption is that all of the not no face, but all of the other shadow ones with the white eyes, I think
Mhm.
they're people.
Oh, that could be.
Or like the ones
Oh.
on the
Like
train.
when she's riding Haku down that tunnel thing.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
those ones are people.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That would make sense. They look like people too. And like when the pigs are eating, they get slapped by one of those type of figures with a spatula, and it made me think of SpongeBob.
God.
That's when I see a spatula, that's what goes in my head.
You stupid.
I saw a lot of SpongeBob when my son was little.
I
It's
believe
good.
it.
It was a great show.
It was. So you see that first episode over 100 times in a row, then you start to not like
I'm
it as
ready.
much.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, he loved that episode. Just that one episode, he could watch that.
Well, you don't want to hear Tiny Tim sing over and over and over again.
I do not ever again in my life. That's just what I thought of. But it also makes sense that humans have died and they went back to work. So
God, I hope not.
it's what we would do. Especially certain cultures that were very much where people weren't taught
Work-oriented.
hobbies and weren't taught passions and were just taught work, take care of your kid, take care of your farm, and sleep and go to church.
Mhm.
I mean,
Well, it might also be what they enjoy the most, because all that entire street for the bathhouse feels like buildings from different generations all stacked next to each other. So maybe those people just really were adamant about being chefs.
okay.
Mm.
I didn't think about that, but that would make sense. I mean, plus, if you live for eternity, what are you going to do with yourself? I mean, I guess work makes sense, and you're
Yeah.
contributing to your community.
I'm gonna
Your
sleep.
passion.
You would, yes. But it's very interesting. I mean, the stuff like when you see the bathhouse, I mean, I'm sure that a lot of those characters are references to other Studio Ghibli things that I just don't know, or references to folklore. Like the big giant naked radish spirit, I'm sure that's a reference to something.
Like
No, I
the
just assumed that was a daikon.
Oh.
Yeah, that guy's great.
No, there is an actual like radish spirit that it's based on for sure.
Oh, okay. Are the
He is a
little ducks
spirit.
based on
Yeah,
something?
the little ducks,
And the ducks
everything.
with the ducks with the leaves on their head. That obviously reminds me of Totoro. With the leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just so well done. Everything with the bathhouse is so good. Like I love seeing all the different characters and just like the way with Chihiro, and you also find out that when she does get the job, like what the hell was the witch's name?
Yubaba?
Yeah. What she does, how
Yaga.
she takes your name. I do like that idea where she takes your name, so therefore you don't know who you are, so you just work the rest of your existence.
Are you existing in the spirit world?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, you have all the frog spirits, you have everything else.
I just love that she's the Baba Yaga.
Oh,
See, that's what I was gonna call her.
I
Baba
looked
Yaga.
it up because I was like, she must be a Baba Yaga like reference, but there actually is a Japanese spirit called Yamauba or Yam something like that, who is like an old lady who lives in the woods and loves children, has a bunch of children, is like a creepy old weird witch
Is that
lady.
the one who gives birth like once a month?
Something like that, yeah. So, and although there definitely are like nods to Baba Yaga, I think she is more based on the like Yamauba character. But she does like turn into a bird. She has little chicken legs. Like obviously, gonna make some, like there are some Yubaba reference or some Baba Yaga references in there.
Yeah. Kind of makes Chihiro. What's the story? Yaga in it? Vasilisa?
Yeah, I never knew how to say that. I don't think I ever heard that out loud. So I'm gonna say yes.
the only reason the first time I ever even heard the story of Baba Yaga or heard that reference to that name was in Ant-Man, unfortunately.
Oh, what? Really?
One of the guys like, Baba Yaga!
Wow.
In the first Ant-Man?
Yeah.
Well, and obviously, like Howl's Castle is like a Baba Yaga house because
Yeah.
Baba Yaga's house has like the
Yeah.
legs. So
Thankfully, that one's
He's
just
familiar.
an adaptation of a book.
sure, but I mean, definitely looks like that because of Baba
Oh,
Yaga.
yeah.
No, it's just like, and also like kind of like things pay off in this movie. Like early in the movie, she gets that little card from her friend that when she's moving with the flowers, and it has her real name on it. And I think it's Haku that says hide it because your name is what protects, is how you're going to get back.
And that's ancient fairy lore. Like that's just you know what I
sure.
mean? That's typical. You never tell a fairy your name. You never eat fairy food because if you do, you're going to be trapped there forever.
Yeah.
Because your name is power.
And he also even hides her clothing. It's almost, in a way,
Oh yeah.
you have to have this like full reset to who you were before you're allowed to go back.
Totes.
One of my favorite scenes is still the speaking of eating, the eating and crying scene when she gets the onigiri finally. Because she's been it's been like almost 2 days since she's eaten anything except for that little tiny cherry, whatever
Or
he gives her.
pea or whatever Haku gives her.
Yeah.
Little more so.
And she finally gets to eat those big giant onigiris and yeah.
Eating and
Cries like
crying.
crazy. Yeah.
Why was she crying? Just because over everything that's happening?
Yeah.
Assuming?
Because she hadn't eaten and she hadn't even let herself eat because she was trying to get all. That's what I thought it was,
And
all
to
the
be so
pressure of trying to get the job
overwhelmed.
and all the stuff.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you see your parents as pigs. You have no idea what to do. You're like 10.
All the stress was just coming out and crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I relate to that.
And she was always on the defense for everything, and she just didn't let herself like you know.
But I also think if
Eat or
anyone
anything,
has
yeah.
experienced a tragedy, like a lot of times you'll just be like going if you have a death in the family or something. And then the minute you sort of stop to eat, it's sort of the first time you, I think, allow yourself a moment to kind of take a breath.
Yeah.
I think that's when you're going to lose your shit.
No, that's fair. I mean, because like even in just regular stress, like if you keep busy, you can keep stuff off your
Oh, yeah.
mind.
When I watched this earlier, actually, I was watching with somebody, and they pointed out, hey, why are Chihiro's tears so almost comically huge in the scene when
Oh yeah, they were.
she's being
Yeah.
held by Haku? I'm just like,
That's what
because
I
it's a
thought.
river spirit. He controls water.
That's
Oh.
genius.
She has giant tears when she eats too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right.
I was like, those are overly large teeth.
That makes
for a
sense,
little
though.
girl.
And you don't really you don't even know he's a river spirit at first. He's like, because when he first meets her, he's like, I know your name. She's like, how do you know my name?
Yeah, but then he unbinds her legs with the power of the wind and the water.
Mhm.
Oh,
So you have at least that little connection to go, wait, now, how is he connected to those?
you don't really find out until that river spirits are because I think you find out Haku is a dragon, or maybe it's late. No, maybe it's later when you come back when you find out he's a dragon. But then you also have the big giant dragon thing that when they do the bath with that one
The
spirit,
thorn. Yeah.
the stink spirit. They think it's a stink spirit, but it's just a really polluted river.
Yep, and then we see a second dragon.
Oh yeah.
And what a brilliant idea that the dragons are the river spirits. Like they are moving waves in the sky.
Sure.
Oh,
I mean, it's, if you've ever seen a river, like, if you've seen like a topographical map, if you look at a river,
They look like dragons.
Looks like
totally.
dragon, yeah. Or some of them
Love it.
are named after that. But yeah, no, that's one of my, the two big scenes for me, aside from the crying and eating, is the giant mud thing with the water pollution. Where they pull like the bikes and the
there's like a stove and a dishwasher.
yeah.
Aw.
and the laundry out of there and all that, obviously, and then it becomes a water spirit, and of course the no face part.
No
Does that affect the real
No
world, do you
face.
think?
Say again.
When they clean out the river spirit,
Oh,
it
yeah.
affects the real world?
Oh, I hope
Everything just
so.
magically gets dislodged.
I don't know. Wouldn't that be cool?
It would be nice.
But maybe he's a river spirit like Haku, because Haku's river got filled in. So maybe he's coming here to like live his spirit life because his river got so polluted that
Right.
his river life ended.
Yeah.
And so
That's a
nice
sad-
of him to give Chihiro a bazaar made out of vomit.
Yeah. Yep, that's it. I'd probably eat that too, though. I'd do the same thing. Like, let's
No!
probably. I'm just saying. Be true to yourself.
At best, it could taste like seaweed.
Yeah, it looks seaweedy, seaweed,
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like
You
a
know.
ball of seaweed.
mucky.
She does not like it when she bites into it, though. I thought it was hilarious. She's like,
How did she know she was supposed to eat it?
she didn't.
Oh,
She just did.
she just decided to bite into some random thing.
Yeah.
It was a gift. It can't be that bad. Oh, crap.
Oh, but it tastes bad.
Because it's medicine. But it's just cool. Everything pays off. That pays off too. A little bit later. I mean, the stuff with her having to even like do the bath, because she ends up working there and doing. She ends up having to do that bath because they give her the biggest tub, her and Lynn, because they don't like her because she's a human.
Right.
Like it all pays off and it all works out really well, and I really like it. I like that stuff with that spirit a lot.
Yeah, even the newt makes sense if you think about it, because it's just a little tasty snack from the living world.
Mhm.
Oh, people eat newts, don't they?
Yeah, they look
Yeah.
just like that too.
I can't imagine eating a newt.
I would do it.
I mean, I probably would. I like newts.
If you didn't tell me what it was, and it was like in something else,
And now looking like that on a stick.
not looking like that on a stick, I couldn't eat it like that.
I don't know. We eat bugs. We've eaten caterpillars.
Yeah.
You know.
Let's go eat some bug.
Oh.
Oh.
I've never eaten bugs yet.
I heard crickets are good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I try them.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have a cookbook that has crickets in it as a recipe.
Mm.
I'll
I
make
think
it
it
for
would
you
be the
guys.
crunch for me. Like,
Yeah, that would do you in. I don't think I could do it. I don't know. I haven't eaten that many train things, but I do eat. I like mussels. I like seafood.
what?
That's what my wife does every time I eat mussels.
What?
Mussels
Oh,
are
we
great.
love mussels. We eat mussels like at least once a week.
They're real good. The Aldi
So
one.
slimy and gross.
I go to a China buffet and I get them. That's the only place I get them. The only place I eat them, and every time I just fill up my plate and I enjoy those.
Like twice.
Yes. Oh, one thing that I noticed because I was watching this movie, one of the they actually have the voiceover of Roy Campbell from Metal Gear Solid is in here as one of the frogs.
Oh, I don't know, because I've never watched the dub version, so I wouldn't know.
He does a few different voices. I was looking up because he just said it's just an additional voices, but yeah, you can hear him. I heard him throughout. I played a lot of Metal Gear Solid, by the way, in my life.
No, you
So-
don't say.
I heard his voice. I'm like, oh, that's Roy Campbell.
Have you played Twin Snakes? I'm sure you have.
Of course I have.
The
I
GameCube
even
one.
done it on the podcast too.
Nice. Yeah, I have that. I have that game still. It's worth some money now.
I do. It's actually, I have it too behind me. I bought it years and years ago when I made money from selling papers on a corner.
I bought it when it was new. Yeah, I bought it when it came out. So that's
Good game.
I paid whatever the price.
Lynch.
That was the first game Metal Gear Solid I ever played. Was the game.
it's a really good game, and it's the reason why Hideo Kojima never wanted to let out anyone else work on the brand again, because he was so upset with the process trying to make that game.
Oh yeah.
So I was watching something where he said that was a terrible experience trying to get that game done. He didn't say what company or anything. He just said, he didn't want to do a project like that. And then, of course, the only one he ever did was that one. So people are like, yeah, we get it.
I figured it was also the NES Metal Gears, because I know he hated those.
He wasn't involved in those.
Oh yeah, but he still hates them. Like
he hates them.
They would have never been re-released if he still worked for Konami on the Metal Gear Solid collection.
Because Metal Gear 2 is the reason why, or Snake's Revenge is the reason why we got Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. Because he was so upset that they were making a game without him that he went and made another game.
MSX.
Mm-hmm. Good game, by the way. Metal Gear 2 is really good, also on this podcast. So go listen to that. All right, back to Spirited Away. But there were just a couple things. Like, I swore Cliff from Cheers was a voiceover in this, but I didn't look it up.
Oh, he is. He's
okay.
He sings a little song. Come and get the gold and do the stupid shit and give him.
Oh, okay.
That's him.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the no face part with the gold and all that. That was always the very memorable spot for me. And we were watching it today, and we were watching it whenever we watched it this week. I was like, it's like Batman, the 1989 Batman, when Joker gives everybody the money so he can kill everybody. That's kind of what he's doing there. He's giving them the money so he can eat them.
I just like that he eats the first person, so that way he has a voice.
Yeah, right. I like that too.
Was it you had to take the gold from him in order to get eaten? Was that partly what he was up to?
Well, I think he's seen people giving gold to one another, so he's just a copycat.
Yeah, he saw people give money and then they get something from it, so he's like, oh, here, have some gold.
But I was wondering if he had, is he trying to get Chihiro to take stuff? And I was wondering if he's trying to get her to take stuff so he could eat her.
It was because she was kind to him.
Yeah.
The only reason why he's a jerk is because everybody else around him is so greedy and snatching up the gold. Like, he's pretty much an emotional vampire.
Okay.
So if he hangs out with because they get on the train and all that together later.
Yeah.
I always figured it was like it's a allegory to capitalism or whatever, with everybody kind of beating each other up for the gold.
100%.
Well, it is. That's been confirmed.
And
that's cool. That makes sense.
Like, he has no job. And when he ends up with Zaniba, spinning wool and making cheesecake or whatever, he's like, calm again, chill again, because he has a purpose.
And I love how she asks, oh man, you're really good at knitting. Where'd you learn that? It's because he's been in the room for 5 minutes with you.
Exactly.
I didn't catch that. Or also the capitalism thing also makes sense because there's also a comment Chihiro makes where she's like, this place made him crazy.
Yeah. And that's 100% what happened.
Cruelty and greed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, most of the spirits you see, I mean, there are a few good ones, but a lot of the people in the bathhouse are not good. They're very greedy. They're mean. They're mean to her. Like, because she's a human. A lot of xenophobic would maybe be. I'm not sure that'd be the right word because they're spirits, not humans. But hey,
sure.
Xenophobic mostly with aliens, but it can work. But yeah, you have it's interesting comparison. I didn't even think about that part. But yeah, that makes sense. The capitalism thing perfectly. I like all that. No Face is just so cool. Like, what is No Face based on like a folklore?
Mm-hmm.
Has to be.
I don't. It was in a Inuyasha episode.
You would know.
But that version, it was really like a haunted mask, but that's what they called it. Was No Face.
What was it in Avatar? Was it
Avatar? The internet says it did not exist previously in Japanese mythology.
The no face. Everybody had a no face inside of them. You become a reflection of the people around you.
So Phoebe, are you saying that if you lose your heart, you become a no face?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And not just a nobody.
Boo.
But no face is just like I like everything with that. I like the fact that Yubaba realizes something's there that shouldn't be there, but she thinks it's a stink spirit, and like that he can't, and No Face can't get in except for the fact that Chihiro opens the door and lets him in.
So like a vampire, you have to invite him in.
Right.
I guess evil spirit. So I mean, they're not evil, but he's not a regular spirit.
The living embodiment of loneliness.
Oh.
Yeah. Remember, she said he's just lonely.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Because that's why he follows her around, because she was kind to him and he wants to be her friend.
Yeah.
Do you think, because the more time he spends in the bathhouse, you get to see kind of something growing inside of him, almost like organs? Do you think it's just because he's been around a living person for this long?
Or he's full of people?
I thought that too, but I'm like, oh no, it's a little swirl or whatever. But it looked like he had a heart.
Mm-hmm. A capitalism heart.
It's funny that out of any character that you can cosplay from this movie, that's the one.
The easiest one.
It's the easiest one. I've met a no-face before, and he handed me gold, and I just only took one, bowed, and said, thank you, I don't want any more. And they were the little chocolate gold coins.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
I love cosplay and people that do it. It's awesome.
Yeah, you never do it with me.
I have. I've dressed up as Alan Grant.
Yeah.
And then I went to Cub to buy chicken and somebody was making fun of me.
Why?
My cosplay is super fun, and you need to go all out.
Because they're like, nice hat. I'm like, you don't recognize what I'm trying to do here.
We started with thrift store cosplay.
It worked.
We'll
It's
get you
affordable.
here.
Say that's a pretty. Yeah, that's a doable one. You don't have to make
Indiana Jones. He was a good Indiana Jones.
Mhm.
He slept the whole time.
don't have to do all the foam core stuff.
I had a fake whip and everything.
Yeah,
so.
we did it was like Party City props. It
Mhm.
was a little lame, but
It was cool.
I did what I could. People recognized you.
Oh, yeah. It all worked out. It was a long time ago. We worked at a convention my friend was running for a few times.
Small.
Yeah. So I dressed up two or three times we did it. Maybe we did it twice. I don't remember, but I know I worked it.
I think we did it 3 times. You did Clark Kent one time.
Oh, yeah.
With the Superman shirt under his dress shirt.
See, thrift shopping. Clothes I already had.
Excuse me, I bought the
I know.
Superman shirt at Kohl's or Walmart or something.
Probably Cole's because you worked there. And then eventually you have Haku gets injured. I do like all that stuff. Oh, no, we should finish with No Face. Sorry. No Face eventually ends where... Oh, yeah, because she's kind to him, and then I guess she, tricks him to get out of the place, and then
She
he finally...
feeds him that medicine.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. And that's what makes him start
Medicine.
throwing everybody up.
Yeah, because the Haku stuff is before that. Because she gives the first half of the medal to him.
No, Haku... Oh, yeah, because Haku got injured, and then she has to leave. Yeah, you're right. Because he comes in as a dragon with all the paper cuts and everything.
Yeah.
Because he stole the gold medallion from the sister, and then that's when the giant baby that you see earlier gets turned into a mouse.
I love that.
Oh.
He should have stayed a mouse.
Yeah. And then the little fly thing carried.
Oh, that was cute too.
It is so cute. And then the baby goes from being so annoying and like selfish and stubborn to later on, after the events of the travel, is a kinder person. I thought that was cool.
Mhm.
They do that.
Well, he's so scared of germs thanks to his mom, and then he's such a hero, step on the worm, starts doing it himself, gets more and more dirty.
He's like, this is fun, like any kid. This is
Yep.
Well, it's just overcoming your fears.
Or realizing your mom lied to you.
Too.
Both.
A little
What?
both.
You Baba's a helicopter mom? No.
Right. You can't come out because of germs.
I always feel bad for all the germaphobes that went through 2020.
God,
should
even
not
looking at
be
his
any-
room, it's like a padded cell.
The walls are literally padded.
Yeah.
With the
It doesn't even have
cushions.
windows. It just has that skylight sort of thing.
Yeah,
So it is a padded cell.
night, so we're gonna pull this button and it go doo.
But I mean, I thought it's just very cool to see how much they grow. And there's that comment later on where Chihiro's like, "Well, when she meets the sister, can you turn them back to their regular form?" She's like, "They could have all this whole time. Like, it's their choice."
It was with you all along. You had it the
Yeah.
whole time.
And they like being helpful and running on the little spinning wheel.
Yeah.
That little mouse character. I'm sure you mentioned it on the other one. Jess and I, we went to the Ghibli Museum in Japan, and they show like one movie a day, like a 20-minute movie that you can only see there. And we didn't see this one, but we bought the art book of it. But there's this like little story with these little mice sumo wrestlers, and they kind of, that character looks like
Mm-hmm.
the one
That-
from the story.
Awesome.
I someday I need to go there.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. Yeah, they show it. You can buy little art books of the different ones that they show, but yeah, they'll show a different one every day, and you can only watch it there. That's the only, So it's like that. It's like that One Piece movie we saw at Tokyo Tower. You can only see it
Can
there.
never see that episode anywhere
it's
else.
like a secret episode. Yeah, that takes place at Tokyo Tower, of course.
That's okay. In One Piece, you have over 1,000 others to watch. So that's
It's
all right.
true. You're
I could never get into it.
I won't start it.
Because I got into Bleach and it just never ended. It's just, I dropped out at some point.
I watched 100 episodes of One Piece. I thought it was pretty good.
You only got 900 more to go.
Yeah, I like.
I don't think I'm joking, am I?
Better than the non-anime.
No, you're not.
It's like, am I joking?
Because I just hear people talk about it, but I've never really looked into too much of it. It doesn't interest
Well,
me.
we have to watch a few episodes if you do the live action.
I'm not, so.
Oh, that's rude.
It's the same with Detective Conan. We're now at 1,000+ episodes.
I dropped off of that one too because I'm like, he's never gonna get turned back.
No, instead other people became kids now.
I know, and then I just got so upset because I wanted. But where would the story go? That would be the end if he got turned back into a teenager.
That's fine. You end the show.
Yeah. I
Make
just
a
got
new
so
IP.
frustrated. I'm like, I can't watch it anymore. The episodes are all the same.
That's anime for you, I guess, sometimes.
Yeah.
It was like comic books; they never end.
Oh.
Certain
Fair.
ones, those Marvel ones that you like, they never end.
Well, sometimes. New runs, new artists, new number. Hey, the new numbers come out. How about that? Huh?
Same. I mean, same characters still there.
Yeah, no one ever really dies for real in a comic book. Unless Marvel's out of spite because they have the X-Men license and you don't. Then they do end out of spite.
Yeah.
Who'd they kill?
They ended up at one point when they were so mad that Fox had X-Men and they didn't. Some Marvel editor screamed, or somebody big high up screamed at them, and Inhumans became the big thing, and mutants were kind of pushed aside.
Oh, that's weird.
Well, yeah, and also they ended the Fantastic Four comic for a while because of that as well. They ended it like right around the time of that of the really bad movie with Michael B. Jordan in it.
Michael B. Jordan, yeah.
They had that series for some years.
All out of spite.
Yeah,
It wasn't like a business decision; it was just out of spite.
sure.
Because people.
They would
Also-
wait till they got it back.
No, it was stupid though. So stupid. But that's what happened when you let people in charge of a business run things out of spite. Bad things happen.
I mean, what was it in the '90s? The Onslaught series where they killed like everybody that wasn't the X-Men.
Oh my god.
Pretty terrible
Is that
too.
mine?
So they've done
We're
all
talking
sorts.
about the comics.
I
Yeah.
thought he said series.
He did, but I don't think he meant you like X-Men Evolution.
Yes, I do.
I was talking about the Phoebe knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't
Magneto.
read comics. My bad.
There's Magneto and whatever. No, it was like the essence of Magneto.
Magneto and Xavier, right? It's on Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Franklin Richards was involved in it too.
I've never read it, but I know of it.
Yeah, I was that was in my when I was reading almost every comic because I didn't have bills to pay or whatever, and I was a kid. I read all that stuff.
Hey, you can now too, for free if you want to.
Well, I have Marvel Unlimited.
Okay, that's the
That's,
one way to do it.
I read
That's
a
the
lot.
correct way to do it.
Yeah, I mean it's you get a lot for $10 a month. It's worth it.
I read other ways. The only comics I buy are Sandman. I have the whole set
Pirates.
because I love Sandman.
Same at this point.
Yeah, pirated comics were always difficult to read. I did it for a while, but it was a process. I'm sure it's easier now.
I still get a lot of ads for women that want to meet me nearby, but that's about it. You just close those ads and keep reading. So back to Spirited Away. After the stuff with No Face, the other thing I want to talk about is when she takes the trip on the train to go to the sister's house to get the spell off Haku. I think that one thing I was thinking about is how like the Boiler Man's like I had these tickets for 40 years.
Now I'm giving them to you, granddaughter.
And to me, it was also kind of like wondering, like, where were you going to go? Like, was this your way of like eventually leaving this place? And
Well, I love the
existing?
idea that that there used to be sort of more travel between the spirit world and other parts of the spirit world, or the spirit world and the human world. Like there used to be. I mean, if you think about ancient stories, right? Gods were always kind of showing up in stories like that. In Greek mythology, I'm sure it's true. In Japanese mythology too, you just sort of run into Zeus in the forest, So maybe this is what they're trying to say. Like a long time ago, the travel was more acceptable, and now the train only runs in one direction, and you can't even buy tickets.
That's a good way to look at it, for sure.
Okay. Or people
I
stop
don't know. I thought it
believing.
was cool.
Yeah, no, it's definitely.
Or people stop believing the spirit world more, or are less connected to the spirit world.
Yeah, I was thinking about
Yeah.
that. I was thinking about that Star Trek episode where the Greek gods are dying because nobody praises them anymore, or whatever.
That's an original series episode, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Great
I will
episode.
not be watching.
I knew what you were talking about. Holy
The Adonias, I believe, is the proper
You
pronunciation.
don't need to watch the original series, babe. You're not. No.
It's
Rude.
lies. It's the best.
Just watch TNG and
Weird.
DS9 and then skip to Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds.
We're
Strange,
slowly going through next gen.
Voyager.
Strange New Worlds is so
Slowly.
I
good.
think you can skip DS9.
Oh,
No, you gotta watch DS9 because it's all about the other cultures.
Yeah.
DS9 is
I
amazing.
watch like 2 episodes a season.
Voyager, you can skip. DS9.
Ugh, never.
Just get the first 3 seasons and get to 7 of 9.
Let's skip the first
Yeah,
2
Kess
seasons
is a
of
little
The Next
annoying. Like, I'll
Generation.
give you that. Kess can go, but I like everyone else.
You'll find an episode called Tuvix, and you'll want to break the TV.
I love Tuvix.
I know what you're talking about.
I love Tuvix. They even referenced it in a Lower Decks episode.
Yes, you're right. Tuvix was great until the end of the episode.
Well, it's heartbreaking, but that's Star Trek.
I've watched all of Voyager, but I don't remember it. I only watched it once, and I don't want to. I haven't. Who knows? I'll ever watch it again.
We got it.
Sable.
Well, 2 characters were merged into one, and that character became its own living being.
Oh yeah.
To
And it
break
was so much
apart.
better
They
than
had
the
to die.
other 2 characters.
That's because Voyager doesn't have a great cast. Maybe not the cast, but the characters just aren't great.
Say Kate Mulgrew's great.
Yeah, Kate Mulgrew. I don't like. I never enjoyed the crew of Voyager compared to like. I love the crew of DS9, Enterprise, Next Gen. Like I don't know. I'm also a big fan of Enterprise too, by the way. So
I like Enterprise.
I like Enterprise until the season that everybody loves. The season
third.
where they're doing the.
when it gets dark.
No, it's just like the same thing. You know, they're fighting
third
the same
season
evil
where
for
it's
like
like
the
all
whole
one
season.
yeah,
I need a
yeah,
monster of the week.
It's all
you
one
know?
serial thing.
I need something we're trying to overcome today. An overarching story is fine, but
Yeah, that kind of burned me out too. Yeah, everybody seems to love season 3, but I liked everything before that.
I like
That's
the whole
same thing with
show.
Picard.
And it had like the worst,
Picard. The first 2 seasons of Picard were
awful.
the worst.
Especially that second season. Like when all of a sudden there's a musical, I'm like, what is happening here? Like what?
I haven't watched Picard yet, and I
Don't.
just have
Just
little
watch the
interest.
3rd season,
Just watch the 3rd season and
Yeah, you'll
skip
be
the other
fine.
ones. They'll fill you in.
or not, or just don't. You don't need to watch any of it. I don't think.
You can listen to what Jess and I did a podcast about Picard.
There you go. Just listen to the podcast.
And I one episode of our thoughts on season 1.
They are not kind.
It's not worth. Yeah, just watch 3. 3 was the only.
Okay.
They finally did what people actually wanted and made it a sequel to Next Generation.
That's what it should. I thought it was the whole time.
No.
Kind of.
Yes.
Kind of, but not
It takes different
good.
episodes and themes from TNG and goes,
Makes them
this
worse.
season will revolve around this theme.
It's like, what if we like kind of try to do a Blade Runner story, but really badly, and we'll just keep talking about this one doctor guy over and over and over again, and then there'll be a musical for no reason. Like in the second one.
part. I remember the musical in Strange New Worlds,
Which I
She
love.
was having-
which is great. Yeah.
That was good. There's like a part where they're like doing a heist, and then what's her face starts singing too.
Oh yeah.
Second one, and I was just like, this show is so bad, and it has and I have no idea what the fuck is happening, and I don't care. And they go back in time like the 4th movie, and then
It doesn't matter. Let's move on.
And then they have some guy in there who was in the 4th movie too for no reason. It's like, oh look, there's the guy with the boombox.
Mikey,
Oh,
all
yeah.
you need to know is that it all leads back to the Borg.
Okay,
Yeah. It's
Nah.
terrible.
I'll get to it someday. I'm sure. I just don't care enough.
You'll be better off.
When back to Spirited Away, like just the whole journey with her going to the sister's house, I really like all that. And now that you guys had mentioned earlier that those are probably those are humans that had passed away that are sitting on the train, I think that's cool. And the sister is interesting. How she's like the other half of her. She's looks exactly the same, but she's the same model. And she's nicer. I like that though. Sort of nicer, but at the same time, she did turn Haku and try to kill him. So
Well, he stole something of hers.
yeah, so,
I know you shouldn't kill people, but
But he didn't. It was Yubaba,
Yeah,
using the
controlling
worm
him.
to control him.
yes, you're correct.
Oh, that's what was killing him.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a curse for stealing that gold idol too that she broke with love. I don't know, but it's and then that's when she finally goes back and realizes that when she finally because then she's riding Haku back to the place to rescue her parents because Haku had made a deal with her after the medicine that he would she would give Chihiro a chance to pass a test and then she can leave.
The part when she saves Haku, I thought that was cool. That it's pretty much a mirror of like when he saved her earlier, when he like kind of forces her to eat the food.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Him
Yeah.
to take the medicine. I was like,
I
oh
wouldn't
yeah,
wanna-
it's like just reversing what happened earlier.
I wouldn't
Nice
want to
little
shove my
callback.
hand into a dragon's mouth.
I mean,
Do it for our dog.
yeah, I mean, yeah. What do you do for the cat? All that. Have you ever had to I'm sure you had to give him pills or whatever,
Yes. Well,
I just have a wife do it for me.
I have.
That's what I do.
They're not happy. I like the liquid better.
We tag team it. One of us has to hold the cat, and the other one try to. It's always hard. It's always very hard to do.
They're always like, "Why are you trying to murder me? Ah! You're supposed to be my servant."
I'm your god.
They believe that. They really do.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever they are. I really do believe all those memes you see about cats where they're like, when they have like the dog talking to the cat, like, our master is not home. Who's that? The person that feeds us. Doesn't ring a bell. But I do love cats. I love it. They're so independent creatures. Or try to act like they are.
My bowl is empty. You literally ate a single piece. My bowl is empty.
I could see the bottom.
Every morning. I get yelled at by a cat every single morning.
Several
Feed
cats.
him.
I do.
I do.
I'm usually trying to get to the bowl that he's in front of while he's screaming at.
That's so funny.
Or like today where I overslept for him and he was not happy.
Then he knocked shit down
Mm-hmm.
to get our attention.
He'll knock my glasses down, knock my phone down, he'll start knocking stuff off my table. Like, get up and feed me.
Should have got up faster.
They just should have got a new cat.
They just jump on us and meow in our faces.
He tried that, but then he gets snuggled. So then he stopped doing it. He'll go to the foot of the bed and scream and not come any closer because he doesn't want to get snuggled.
I don't remember him screaming. He's getting better.
No, he was. You were asleep
I was?
before I woke you up.
I snuggle cats in my sleep, apparently.
Yeah, she has. I watched it happen. They don't appreciate it, by the way. Who could have guessed? So after she goes to the shop, when she's flying back on the dragon, that's when you have her realize, she's like, I know your name, you're River or something.
Okay.
River Cole.
It's a really long name, actually. I looked it up.
When we were seeing the.
But yeah, in the translation and even in the subtitle translation, they just call him Kahaku River.
But I like that. And then he's like, no wonder I can't go back because the river doesn't exist anymore. It was filled up. Like, I thought that was a really cool idea, too, to be like, well, what happens when we make changes to landscape?
River spirits don't have.
Yeah. Like
That's
it,
sad.
but it also, I can believe that a river would have a spirit because a river is something that's constantly changing.
It's on its own.
Yeah.
Current, whatever.
Yeah, you could see things like that having, are there more to it than just exist? This is a cool concept.
Yeah, it's as alive as anything else, right?
Yeah. I also forgot that, because I'm watching the movie as we're talking, you see the train earlier before she gets on the train. I did not realize she looks at the train going by while she's eating a dumpling.
And they hear the train. That's what kind of brings them into the spirit world in the first place, is they hear the train in that what seems like a little train station with her parents. Her mom's like, shh, and they hear the train. They go, oh, it's a train.
Is there no escape, nowhere to run, nowhere to go on this train?
I'm sure it's a reference to something, but I don't know what.
Yeah,
So,
I don't
yes.
either. Silence.
Trey does.
Well, he was still
What?
silent.
There's no escape, nowhere to run, nowhere to go.
Oh, are you talking about the ghost train?
Yes, FF6.
Yeah.
Where the ghosts keep repeating that to you over and over again when you're on top of the roof with Sabin, Cyan, and Shadow.
Yeah.
If only
You could
Shiguro had
suplex
suplexed it.
like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah.
I love 6 a little bit, just to let you know. Just a little
Game.
bit. I have to make dumb references to stuff. That's the joy.
Yes, you do.
Even when I'm not recording, I do it to my wife, and she just looks at me with confused and wondering why she made the decision she made.
Every day
Wow.
did that, but then he makes up for it somehow.
I cook you food. Not sure that helps.
Sure.
So it's her going back, when she finally does confront Yubaba about it, and she's like, I know my name, and I think that's all really good. I guess, again, to go back to what you guys were saying earlier, where she's showing confidence now.
Yes,
Calls her
absolutely.
Granny.
Yeah, she does call her Granny because she calls Zaniba as call me Granny,
He's
Obacha.
Why'd you just call me?
which is that's the name of our house. We named our house Obacha.
Obacha, yeah. And was it from this one? Saw that?
It's probably where I learned the Japanese word for grandma. Yeah.
And our internet is called Obacha no Chie, which is grandma's knowledge.
Oh,
That's awesome.
I named it after that. So there you go.
mine is just.
Here.
I really should rename my Wi-Fi. Just CenturyLink and then a number. I never changed it.
Our Wi-Fi used to be Star Labs. I'm sure you get a kick out of that.
I do. I appreciate that. I also forgot that at one point she goes back to where the pigs are. Tataku shows her the pigs, and then she tries to feed the pig, but she can't figure out which one is which.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I did forget about that.
Oh yeah.
It's a small scene, but it shows, she's trying to escape essentially, and then when she does in the because in the final part she had that test where Bob was like, "Which pigs are your parents?" and she's like, "None of them."
Yeah. Because because she couldn't.
It kind of
figure
puts
it
her
out
in that
from before.
mindset too, to be thinking about them. Like, would I recognize them? Can I recognize them?
And us too. Like, how would you know? Yeah, how would you know which one is which?
They all look the same, and they're not going to respond to you like a pig. Well, if a pig knows you, it's going to respond to you. I'm sure, like any animal.
Well, didn't Haku say that they had no memory of being humans? So
yes,
they wouldn't remember.
They wouldn't know who she is.
Yeah.
You also see a lot of pig heads in this movie too. They're feeding. Every time I saw one, I'm like, was that a person?
Oh, absolutely.
So, because you see a few pig heads when they're feeding no head, no face, and I'm like, I wonder.
Right.
You just see everything when he's eating.
Yes, but there are multiple pig heads like right there. You see throughout, and every time I was like, did they just someone get turned into a pig and then murdered and then fed?
Yes, that's what they get for being a pig.
That is fair.
I'll be turned into a pig someday.
But I do like that, and she just wakes up, or I guess what? Yeah, she runs across the river. I think they're just there, right? Like her parents are just waiting for her.
Yeah, they're just on the other side of the tunnel, or they're right there at the entrance of the tunnel, waiting to go through.
So do they not remember any like
they don't
looking
remember.
at the place? Did they not remember going in there at all?
No, they don't, and may or may not be implied that Chihiro doesn't remember either, but she still has the purple hairband that they made her at Zeniba's house.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like the last shot of the movie as they like glint that hair tie.
I'm assuming the memories stay with her because she wasn't.
Well, even if the memory doesn't stay, the lessons she learned seem to stay with her because, her dad's like, well, you ready to go to your new school? And she's like, I think I can handle it.
Yeah.
I was also thinking like, the school might be wondering where you are because you've been gone.
Yeah.
Right.
The movers are probably wondering. Well, the movers wouldn't be like, oh, well, they didn't get here. Oh, well, fill the house up and leave.
Yeah, totally.
Probably just leave.
Yeah.
Be like, all right, your stuff is ours now.
No, that's an American way of thinking.
Yeah. Well, they didn't come, so we get to own.
Well, they had keys to the house. He said earlier.
Oh yeah.
So they probably came, put the stuff in the house, and left.
Yeah, it's Japanese. They put everything in there and then leave candies by your doorstep, and
Yeah.
that's that.
I do want to see Japan really someday. It sounds like a nicer environment than what we live in at times.
Bathrooms are much nicer.
That's what I've heard on your podcast, by the way.
Yeah,
Nice.
public
And when we talked about
public restrooms.
Totoro.
Oh, was it maybe there? I feel like I've heard him say it on his podcast too when he was talking about Japan and how he went to somewhere and the bathroom was terrible when he was back in America.
We said it, I think, last time we were here.
Okay, I do listen to a lot of Nintendo Man also.
But is there anything we're missing on Spirited Away?
Just when you go back to the car, we said it before, but I want to bring it up again now that we've had this whole conversation. Like the fact that the car is all covered with stuff, and to me, it's like it feels like she's been there a while.
Been there for a little bit for the inside to get this.
Yeah, you think they?
Put the windows down.
Yeah, they left the windows down.
It's windy.
I suppose. Fine, I'll give you that.
It's definitely been some days. I don't know. We'll never know.
I just wonder what they think when they go back to their house and everything else. Like, what the hell happened to these 3 days?
Yeah, that'll be the way that Chihiro remembers it.
Yeah, I'm curious too, but again, it's not. These movies are not like that. That's not the point of them, to start questioning everything.
Because otherwise we could ask really terrifying questions like, wait a minute, at one point Yubaba said, I'll turn you into a lump of coal. How many of the lump of coals that the spirits are carrying around are people?
Oh,
That too. Pigs and coal.
Okay. You brought up a point I didn't want to think about.
Totoro.
But again, the whole thing of this movie is just to think about growth, and I also think of it like, the idea could be thrown of childlike imagination. Even though she's not imagining this, but if she was to tell the story to somebody, that's what they would see or hear.
They wouldn't believe it. I don't know, maybe some old grandma would.
Yeah. But I like that idea, and I also really like the idea of that the spirit world is entwined with our world.
I always believe that.
I do too. I really do.
Don't work an overnight shift on Halloween right after the full moon.
I know
I don't. I always take it off.
Sounds fun.
I worked in a senior home, and it was awful. I saw people moving and that weren't there, and like the silverware and the tablecloths got messed up, and at the end I was like, fucking stop it. I was pissed.
Was that the day you saw somebody walking on the other side of the hall and you ran over there, but nobody was there?
Yeah, because we have windows that see from one hall to the other. And I was like, shit, somebody's up. I have to go. And then just nothing. Like, this lady wasn't walking fast. I would have seen her.
Veil was so thin on that day.
I believe that. I really do. So, all right. And then, yeah, I guess she just goes back. I'm trying to wait for the scene. I have it on plane. I'm trying to see what the car looks like. Maybe I skipped it because I was talking. Oh, well. But yeah, no, it's just great movie. Who knows? We should go to Shelf Stacker Box. And Jess, what about you?
Can you remind me what the words mean?
Shelf means something you really like and love. Stack means something you liked. And box means something you disliked.
Shelf, baby. Shelf it up. I'm shelfing this for all time. Yeah, I've seen this movie a bamillion times. I hope to watch it a bamillion more. In English and Japanese, I'd watch it in French with Japanese subtitles. I'd watch it not being able to understand anything. I think it's beautiful and I love it.
But I bet you would. If you didn't understand it, you would anyway.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll learn a little French. Why not?
Right?
Bonjour, bonjour. Do, 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 do.
No, stop.
I love that movie. And Trey, what about you?
Was it Stack? Wait. Whatever the good one is.
Shelf.
I was like, do it again. Tell him again.
Yeah. No, I'll shelf it. I was trying to remember if we have I don't know if we actually have a physical copy of it.
Yes, we do.
Do we?
Yes, we do. Because I do.
Oh, you have it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I didn't
And
think
we're married now, so.
Yeah.
So we have.
Because I didn't. Because there was that Japanese video place that we used to go to at a grocery store by us, which isn't there anymore. But you could buy a bunch of. We bought a bunch of Ghibli stuff from there.
I got
Oh,
like
you might because I already owned
But
it.
not in that one because you already had it.
Yeah.
So yes, we have it shelved down here on DVD.
We have a couple
like
physical.
a box set, but it only went up to the time I bought it, which I don't know. He's made a lot more movies since that.
And I have a box set too from before I met you, but I bought that in 2006, which I'm pretty sure is bootleg.
No,
mine is.
Oh, I was
Mine's
like, mine
bootleg.
is not bootleg.
When I have a Cowboy Bebop also, and then years later when I saw what the real DVD pack looked like, I went, oh, yeah, mine's bootleg.
Hey, it still works out.
I didn't know.
Especially the shows are real expensive.
Yeah.
Well, I bought a bunch of Gundam bootlegs because the regular ones are like $100.
Ooh.
Damn.
Ouch.
Or more. I don't know. It was too much. So,
No, I don't blame you.
yeah, that's when it wasn't available anywhere.
The only legit DVD season of an anime I have is the Macross Saga Robotech.
Nice.
That's not true. I have some.
I'm talking about what I bought.
Oh, I see. I think I bought mostly legit copies.
And Tiffany, what about you? Self-stacker box.
Joke. I had to think about it. I forgot.
First time on the show?
Yeah. Well, first time I might be listening to the show. I don't listen to any of his episodes.
That's okay.
Especially if I'm on them. I hate the sound of my voice.
You get used to it once you edit hours and hours and hours of episodes. It doesn't even bother you anymore. It doesn't even faze you. Isn't that right, Trey? Like you don't even think about it. You're like, oh.
You can make yourself sound better by cutting parts. That's what I
Just
do.
cut all the parts where you talk.
You can try to, well, I mean, when you're editing yourself, you can try to cut out all the stupid stuff you say.
He cuts out all the stupid stuff I say.
No, I leave. It depends on what's said. I only cut out certain things. I just mainly cut out ums or repeat. Like something I'll cut out when you repeat yourself, like I do it too. Stuff like that. I try to leave a lot in because that's what makes the podcast great, in my opinion.
Yeah. Or cut myself off when I interrupt other people, mostly.
But you also do multi-track, don't you?
Yes.
I do not.
It'll change your life.
It will change my life in a way that I don't know if I want to deal with.
It was a big, it was like, oh my God, this is a whole new world. But yeah, it was,
New world. Sorry.
it was fun.
That's what's in my head too.
Did any of you try to watch the live action Spirited Away, like the play? Because that's on HBO Max too.
No, I've
Is it
thought
really?
about it. I saw it.
I want to though. I've always wanted to.
We haven't watched it, but I thought about it. I was like, oh, we should try to watch that. But yeah, we just didn't have time to get around to it. But
I'm curious. Oh, I should wrap this up and we can. Phoebe, what about you?
there's a couple ones on there.
It's on my shelf. Of course I'm going to put it on the shelf.
Is this the only one you own too?
For Ghibli?
Yes.
So far, yes.
Okay.
Oh.
I remember you came up last time we talked.
No, I definitely want to buy more.
My
They're good.
favorite is House Moving Castle.
Yeah. That is for sure. And I'll go last. I'm going to put this on the shelf too. I really enjoyed this movie. I didn't say this before, but I got to see this movie in theaters a couple years ago. We saw it when it was playing because every year they have the Ghibli Fest at AMC. So take advantage of that. This was fun to see in theaters.
Wasn't it sub though?
No, it was dubbed. The only one that was subbed that you got upset was Princess Mononoke years ago.
Because I can't handle the switching of the voices.
Yeah.
I have to watch it in the original form I saw it.
Yeah, no, it's the same. Like I'm the same way. Like I can't watch Outlaw Star, Cowboy Bebop without having it be dubbed. I just can't. I have to have Spike Spiegel's voice.
There are a couple that I watched originally because they didn't have the dubbed version yet. And so I'm like, well, I don't like the dubbed version
Yeah,
now.
it's however you start an anime. Like, if I ever watch Dot Hack Sign again, which I never will in my life, I watch Dot Hack Sign on pirated CDRs in sub.
It was on Cartoon Network.
Not when I watched. My friend was into this was down pirating anime off of Winamax.
Oh, those days.
Yes. On dial-up internet. So I'm like, I better go. That's going to take me hours to get this one episode. And then I would burn them to CDRs. Which I unfortunately don't have that binder anymore. I threw it away at one point. CDRs don't exactly. Well, one, do you see a CD player at any computers?
No, but we could watch it upstairs with your PS5.
It wouldn't work on there.
Why?
You had to have a bunch of codecs to make them run. It was a very complicated thing to make these CDRs run, and they probably weren't even good burn. But yeah, I watched all Dot Hack Sign. Don't. It's not worth it.
Oh, what?
I didn't like it.
I think I would like to see how it ends.
I also watched. I was going through an anime phase where I would just download different animes and burn them to CD. That was kind of a thing, and I had a whole bunch. I had a collection of a few.
They only ever did that once, and that was with Blockfit.
I did with Kenshin. I had the whole series of Kenshin on CDRs, but I never did finish watching it.
That would have been good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else. Yeah, that was a long time ago. I think I threw away the binder. Maybe I gave it to somebody. I can't remember what I did with it, but I didn't keep it because I just didn't. I had moved on with my life. So, plus, I moved a lot. I've lost a lot of stuff when I moved. This happens, especially when you're kicked out of a place that you're living at and have to grab all your shit at one time.
And they won't give it back.
Yeah, that too.
You're living in an actual series of Ghibli movies. You're just moving and moving.
I was at one point, yeah. I did a lot of moving at one point, unfortunately. But I've been at the same place now for 3 years, and
before that, it was how many? 5?
It was a lot.
Yeah, in our apartment, it was a while, and we probably still would have been there.
That thing's not happened yet. We would still be there, but I'm glad that we're not. I like where I am. I have squirrels to feed outside. So is that a Studio Ghibli movie too? Myself, if I'm sitting there feeding squirrels every day and watching them.
Yeah, they're the spirits.
And named one Red.
Yeah, that's the spirit.
That could be a movie.
I want the suit sprites to show up.
Me too.
Then you would have to clean up after them.
I have a little squirrel, a little reddish squirrel that came in my yard. I call him Red every day, and he shows up almost every day.
Every squirrel I ever see will forever be named Conker. That's
God.
They're all Conker. All of them.
And before we wrap this up, I do want to mention, because you had mentioned the play. I have never watched the live action, but I do want to see it on Max. I'm curious about it.
I bet it's Japanese. They do it proper.
I was going to say you might have to watch it subbed. The proper
That's fine.
way of watching things.
I could do it. I'm just curious about it. I know it's been in theaters too.
Oh sure, yeah.
Because the Ghibli Fest.
And he wouldn't let me go see it.
I would have. You never mentioned it.
I said I wanted to. Never mind.
Oh, I don't remember. Maybe I wasn't listening.
Exactly. That's more likely.
Yeah, no, I remember we were really excited about watching it, and then it got to Max, and then we kind of just forgot that it was there and didn't get around to watching it. But I'm sure it's
That's
fun.
okay. Max sucks.
We watched we watched a play version of One Piece also at Tokyo Tower, and that was pretty awesome. It was all in Japanese, so we didn't know what was happening, but it's still, the effects are really cool.
You could probably guess what was
Yeah, well, I mean, it looked really cool. You figure out.
That's all that matters. Now I'm curious about this Demon Slayer movie because but I've never watched Demon Slayer, so I probably wouldn't have any interest.
No, but I think
Demon Slayer's like it's like the number 2 most popular anime under One Piece, right?
Yeah,
and
he won't let me watch it.
No, well, I will, but I'm scared if you start watching Demon Slayer, you'll start buying all the Funko Pops.
I've seen like a few episodes.
Yes, but how many Funko Pops of Trigun do we have now?
How many do you have?
There aren't enough.
If I would have started collecting from the beginning, I would have been fine.
We have all the Demons. We have all not Demon Slayer. We have all the Inuyasha. Well, no, we're missing some Inuyasha Funko Pops.
Yeah, they have new ones now.
But we had them all before. We had she buy all the Trigun Pops. Like, yeah, that's why I'm scared to have her start Demon Slayer, because there are just tons of Funko Pops.
I have to ask.
In the ones. And Oran High School, when I got signed, that was fun.
Oh, there are Oran High School Funko Pops?
Yeah.
Good luck. But yeah.
Fuck.
We have,
some of them are worth like $100.
yeah, some are rare.
Care. If
I
there's a
got
funny senpai, that's
Haru-
all that matters.
I got Haruhi signed. It was super fun.
The voice actress was super nice.
She
She
was
drew on
nice.
your Funko Pop, and
Yeah. She said, kiss, kiss, I'm in love.
all right, we should wrap this up. And
Let's just keep talking about anime.
I'm okay with that too because I still got 20 minutes. But Phoebe, where can people find you at?
Hi, you can find me on Twitch and YouTube, even that Twitter thing that still exists, as the Let's Play Princess. And you can find me and my co-host TB on Podbean under Nerds A Broadcast.
That sounds fun.
I gotta put that in the show links. Show links in the show notes now with the links.
Haha.
Aw.
I think I followed you last time on Twitter and Twitch. I think.
Maybe.
If I didn't, then I'm a jerk. No, I thought I was.
I don't use
If you
Twitch,
do,
but
you should DM me so that way I know who it is and I can follow you back.
Nintendo main podcast. That's who it is.
That's how you find it.
I only use Twitch one time only one time. I use Twitch every month for about 2 days. When the Marvel Snap has a promotion, I have to queue it to get a card.
What was it? What was it again on Twitter?
The LP Princess, all one word.
What's Twitter?
What's it called now?
X.
It's the thing that the stinky man tries to take away from us.
Oh, there you are. I followed you.
My little rant on Twitter. I've had to mute a bunch of stuff because for some reason Twitter keeps sending me conservative updates about stuff like with Trump and other things, and I'm just like, I know you look at all the data and everything I do and everything I say. I am not conservative. Like, why are you sending me this stuff I don't care about?
Because he has to.
So, yeah. Also, when did Twitter become oh, here's your breaking news? You are not a news site, Twitter. You are bullshit. So, Trey, where can people find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at Nintendo_domain. You can find us on Blue Sky, which is better actually, as Nintendo main. I just can't wait till the Switch lets you post videos to Blue Sky, and then I will just post all my credits there. But yeah, you can listen to Nintendo Main Podcast weekly. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/Nintendo Main Podcast. We can hear our bonus episodes, and you can watch the videos of us unedited and all that when we all interrupt each other. And also, there, Jess and I, we did a podcast. We had a podcast.
It's a very
called
good show. I listen to it
Now.
often. I enjoy it.
We actually did an episode on Spirited
All
Away.
right, and if you enjoyed this episode, you can find 600.
Hello?
Uh-oh.
Did I disappear, or did Mike disappear?
Mike
You're
disappeared.
You're still here.
Mike definitely disappeared.
Yeah, because you were talking and then
I was talking, and then he, yeah, and maybe he thought I stopped, and then he started talking about 600 episodes, and then he floated away to the
In
spirit
this little
world.
secret talk, man, why have you not named one of the squirrels secret?
Yeah. So, so how long do we wait for?
I'm gonna type right now, actually.
Yeah. See if there's any. If he knows what happened to it. Oh, it says. Oh no. Oh, you did.
And I am back from the spirit realm. Look at that. I got disconnected the last second and didn't hear anything, but I said before, check out Phoebe's podcast and Twitch. Check out Nintendo Main Podcast with Trey. And if you want to support the show, we do have a Patreon, little dog. You can vote in our Patreon poll. And as I said before, we have over 600 episodes you can find on this podcast. Everything we do is on Podbean, so definitely go check that out. And want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro, courtesy of Helena at Hell Has Free. You can follow her on TikTok, Twitch, Instagram. You will see links in the show notes. And give a shout out to a gamer looks at 40 with Bill Tucker. Definitely go support him. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, YouTube, audio only. And rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts. And we will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.